Hello, and welcome back to the Buddies Much podcast. My name's Sean.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Chase.
And we are here on a spooky Halloween night. And some say, when the wind howls, you can still hear bad movies being recreated for money and nothing else. Today we're talking about Halloween Kills.
Yeah, that's right. Evil Dies Tonight.
Evil Dies Tonight, guys.
Can I first go off with something?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I am so relieved they used that damn pitchfork. The second I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, they're going to use that. And then, like, they kept teasing me, and they didn't. And then they didn't. And then they didn't. And then they did, then they put it down. And I'm just like, okay, at least they used it. Sorry. I was really excited.
Chaser was calling that the whole movie.
He was.
The movie was Halloween Kills, released in 2021. So besides the pitchfork scene, Chaser, what did you think? Give me
wait. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Maybe let's give a brief synopsis of what Halloween and the whole series is about, just in case you don't know, and then we'll go into like ratings and stuff.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like you're already giving the synopsis, so go ahead.
No. He's already into it.
I am not a horror movie watcher. These guys dragged me into this.
It's very true. Chase does not like horror.
But Andrew had to explain, like, all the Halloween franchise to me. So, because I had no clue.
It's not incredibly
This is my first
complicated.
Halloween.
It's really not. And it sucks because, like, a lot of the, like, they take from part the continuity from some movies, but some of the movies are just weird. So they were like, yeah, we just ignore that one. But if you don't know, this is all about Michael Myers. If you've heard of Michael Myers, this is the movie, Halloween.
Classic slasher movie.
Yeah. Very brief synopsis. Michael Myers, as a little boy, psychopath, kills his sister, goes into a mental facility, escapes years later, and starts wreaking havoc in the town of Haddonfield. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Anyway. But
I mean, they made an entire series on this. That Michael, he's chasing his other sister. What's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis. Or in the show, Laurie.
Yeah. I was going to say Lillian. But he's chasing this chick and killing everyone in his path, A lot of, shall we say, I don't want to say bland movies. It's
I mean, horror movie sequels, man, they're hit or miss, and there's a lot of misses. Like
that. I mean, that's really what it.
I
mean, that's with any sequels. Like, they've dragged this movie. This has to be the 5th or the 6th movie in the series now.
Oh yeah, I think maybe the 7th. Like,
and I mean, I think they've finally gotten around to explaining that this guy, Michael Myers, is just straight up invincible.
I have a theory on that.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that after we do the ratings. We're getting a little out of order here. Sorry.
Chase, why don't you start?
I would probably give this movie a 6.0.
Sean?
6. I am also... yeah, I'll say a 6.
6? Wow, I'm a little under you guys. I'm actually a 5.5.
I feel it.
So,
I feel it. I mean, right around the same ballpark. Like, better than absolute indifference, but not by much.
I mean, I'd probably given it lower if they didn't use that pitchfork.
Now, honestly, if we were talking about the original Halloween, classic movie, great movie, as they continue, they just get worse. And we'll dive into the likes and dislikes, but should we start with the likes and get it out of the way?
Sure.
I feel like we always do that because we're going to spend a lot of time bashing this movie.
I mean,
it's kind of our thing.
It's kind
of... Buddy's much more like bashing them much?
Yeah, for real. So, okay, what in the movie did you like as far as continuity with the Halloween series, and what did you, or just like, oh, that was a cool scene, just either?
Well, first, I like, you can kind of see Michael's battle damage, that like, I mean, there are a couple scenes where his mask gets torn off. You can kind of see his hands are like missing a bunch of fingers, and you know, I think it's cool that you can see all of the stabs and the burns and the gunshots he's taken over the years. I thought that, I don't want to say the effects were great. They were okay. There were a couple scenes where I was like, it seems a little, either they were underwhelming or overwhelming. That, like, it was either, whoa, that guy got murked, or like, just got poked in the shin or something and just keels over dead.
Yeah. What about you, Chase?
I liked music placement.
Okay.
Like his theme song placement.
Yeah.
I liked the ending. Because there's always the question with Michael Myers is he immortal? Yeah. And they kind of solidified that in this movie.
Yeah.
So, like, a little bit of closure.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I enjoyed, I liked the casting. I thought it was really cool that they brought Jamie Lee Curtis back.
The same casting from the last 30 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad they didn't pull any BS where they did an actress swap or anything like that. That's what I felt really weird. They brought, I think Lindsay, the girl that plays Lindsay, is the actual girl from... No, it can't be. I don't know. But the casting was good. I thought everyone was cast really well. I would have liked a cameo. Or, that's a dislike. What else did I like? I liked the kills. I mean, it's a horror movie. You have to have kills. I liked that it wasn't the same kill over and over. Some of them were a little ridiculous, but I liked that they were a little bit uncomfortable.
I mean, with 30 years of kills, you got to get creative with it, you know. And I think with that creativity comes a certain amount of...
You can only stab people a certain way.
Ridiculousness, yeah.
But
they even...
But I liked the kill, like when that guy got stabbed, just like right in the armpit.
Yeah.
What a weird kill! Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, it made me very uncomfortable.
Soft, squishy part up there.
Made me uncomfortable. That's what the movie's supposed to do, and I feel like they portrayed Michael very well in this movie. Like, he did what he does. He doesn't talk. He's not like merciful. He just did his thing. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Man, I'm trying to think of anything else I like. I'm really struggling.
Kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel
I'm
here.
Like, their socks were cool. No, like, I'm sure something else will come up. Let's just dive into the dislikes.
Okay.
You start.
You go first. Okay. Dislikes the whole survivors group at the bar.
Yeah.
That was really weird.
Oh, definitely.
And, like, you know... It's like supposed to be a talent show, and he goes up to tell this kind of gruesome story that's not really it might have been his talent. I don't know. Maybe he's the guy that goes around being like, "Oh yeah, I survived this. Oh hey, do you guys know about Michael Myers? Let me tell you." Like,
not so much a talent show as a news report from the 70s.
I confronted him as a kid.
Also, like, the whole thing about Haddonfield is that it's a small town, and nothing happens in Haddonfield, so this is the only thing people know, and it's the only thing they're remembered for. Why would you need to tell people this? They know about it. They lived there their whole life.
Oh, yeah.
And so this was clearly just for the audience. It was just...
It's exposition.
Yeah, I mean, really heavy.
There was some really heavy-handed exposition. They show a little bit in the very beginning, sort of like a backflash.
Yeah.
Flashback?
Yeah, sorry.
Backflash.
Backflash. It was like this weird, like, flash back into time. I don't know what to call it. But they show this flashback with, like, the original cops in the 70s who found him, and they're, like, talking to each other like, oh, you know, this hometown of ours in Haddonfield, Illinois. And it's like, whoa, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Michael Myers? He's going around stabbing kids. They must have gone through that story 3 or 4 times. That really just laying it into you, like trying to people know that, hey, this is the story, because we know you haven't watched movies from the 70s. Like,
Yeah, that was incredibly annoying. And
I feel like it was like super out of place.
yeah, and it was almost like in the bar scene, they were really like banking on nostalgia for us to be like, oh, that's so and so from the first movie, that's so from the first movie. We didn't really care. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe that's just on us. I mean, I have seen the originals, but like, just the way it was done, I'm just like, all right. Like, I mean, that's cool, but the way you're setting it up is just so awkward. Like,
I do like another like before
yeah,
we get like super far
okay.
into bashing.
what's up?
The whole them not really focusing on his face too much.
yeah. That
like
was smart.
mask
Yeah.
came off, like they show it, but like there's no close up, whatever. It's not a big deal.
I did see his face for like half a second near the end, but it was like as he was putting the mask back on.
But like with
so-
him, it's not about his face or his identity. You know who he is.
Exactly.
I don't know. I really like that, and also like because they escaped from the asylum with him and
A couple other crazy people.
Yeah.
yeah, and they're showing him on the news, but they never show Michael,
Yeah.
which I think is just interesting. You know, I think it goes into that whole like boogeyman sort of feel.
Yeah, this may be going way too deep, and maybe I'm wrong, but like in horror movies, a lot of times when you take the mask off and you see his face, suddenly you've humanized him.
Yeah.
So like when we see Michael Myers, we see him as a monster, a villain, something that's scary. But then when he takes the mask off, you see him as a human, and you might start getting sympathy, and that's the last thing you want with Michael Myers. You want
Yeah.
him to stay the bad guy. I don't know. But you're right. That is cool that
Yeah.
they stay true to that.
Anyway, back to bashing.
Yes, back to the bad.
Yeah.
What about
I-
some of the deaths?
So I think, like we touched on a little bit earlier, that they did get creative with it, but with that creativity comes a certain amount of
Stupidity.
stupidity. Exactly. There was a scene where those people were chasing him, right? And he like slams the door closed, hits her gun, and she turns around and shoots herself in the face.
Dude.
Like, we're sitting there and we just stand up and we're like, "What the hell was that?" Like,
They got creative.
oh man.
Yeah, that was weird.
The whole couple in the house. That wasn't really silly deaths, but that was
Oh, that's another that
Big John, Little John.
Yeah, he senses there's an intruder in his home. He goes, picks up a golf club, and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this guy." And then once he goes back inside and confirms that yes, there is someone in your house, he puts his golf club down and picks up a small paring knife. Like,
You know what he should have done? He should have grabbed the pitchfork.
He
oh,
should've
there you go.
grabbed the pitchfork.
He should have gone for the pitchfork.
He even made a comment about the pitchfork.
That's right, he did.
Yeah, classic horror movie. Just people making dumb mistakes is really all that is. It's like,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just,
I mean,
like he's just not not a smart move on his part.
I have to wonder, like, when you're writing a horror movie, like, because of course you have to write people going into these bad situations because otherwise you don't have a movie, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But at a certain point, it's like, hey, you know this guy who's murdered like 50 people? I'm going to go in alone. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And like, you either have to really just be like, well, let's hope no one pays attention to the logic and they're really astounded by the gore, or you have to explain your way out of so much. Because like so many times during that movie, I'm like, why don't they just use their cell phone? Like,
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
they have a phone. Call the.
hey, by the way,
he's
yeah.
here. He's not there. He's here. He's. we just
Especially
geotracked
because
him.
it is taking place in modern times. Now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's not the 70s
And
anymore.
so it's.
Come to think of it, I don't think I saw a single cell phone in that whole movie.
There was one or two when the guy like at the beginning was calling his friend.
Oh, that's
and
right.
the
That's
phone was
right.
dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, no, there was no another phone. Anything else that really irked you guys before I get into my thing?
Okay. So, the girl that got stabbed from the previous chick, the sister.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she got stabbed
Yeah.
at the end of the previous movie, I think,
The,
in the hospital.
The 2018 movie.
Yeah.
One of the asylum guys are there. She's screaming, "Oh, it's not him, not him, not him." Chases him, does whatever. Stitches open up. She comes back. They make it seem like a really big deal, and then like 2 seconds later, she's standing talking to the guy next to her, the sheriff. What's his face?
That's
Yeah,
right.
That was really weird. I'll agree with you on that.
They like hardcore play up her injuries. She makes a big deal to get over it, immediately reopens her injuries, and then immediately gets over it.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it would have probably been better if she was like laying in the bed, if they were closer and then was talking.
Yeah.
To me, that would have just rounded it up a little bit better. But logic doesn't matter when it comes to horror.
Yeah, that's true.
What's your gripe?
Okay, here's my gripe. My gripe for this movie is the overall plot.
All right. The whole movie.
The whole movie. No. So here's what kind of makes me mad. In this movie, Halloween Kills, is directly after the remake of Halloween, which is, I think, in 2018. The whole thing with Michael Myers is that it's Michael versus Laurie. That's usually been the whole shtick. But for some reason, the whole town is going to like, oh, we're going to band together and get Michael. I wasn't digging it. I felt that was weird. And the movie was more about Tommy than it was about Jamie Lee Curtis. When I saw the preview, I was like, oh, Laurie's back in here. She barely did anything. She's in the hospital.
Tommy who?
The guy who has old Huckleberry.
Oh, Huckleberry.
Yeah.
Oh, Huckleberry.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah. The
dude at
movie
the
was all
beginning.
about him, and he's trying to get the townspeople to... It's like, yeah, we're going to take back our city. It's not about that. It's about Laurie versus Michael, and that's kind of what I wanted to see. I know she's injured. I don't care. Even if she went to the hospital, patched herself up, I would have liked to have seen like Michael versus Laurie some more, and maybe some people in the towns like get involved. But it was just weird because it's like we know Michael's goal is to get her, but not this movie. This movie, he just wanted to go home.
I feel like that's kind of what they were trying to do, is that
Yeah.
it's no longer about him versus her. It's just like he's become more than that. So they had to get the whole town together to gang up on him, which they do spoilers.
Yeah.
The whole town gangs up on him in the end, kicks his butt. And then there's like some monologue where it's like, oh, he's become something more.
Right. So that's what I want to get at. The whole point of the movie, you know, like when you're done with the movie, you kind of think to yourself, like, what did this do to the franchise? Where is this taking us? The only thing we learned in that 2 whole hour span is that Michael's immortal, essentially. That's the working theory. Other than that, we learned absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty much just a gore fest. And then, like, I really would have wished they would have gone to more of a little bit of his backstory, or, like, explain a teeny bit why he's immortal. Be like, oh, Dr. Loomis's notes have said that, oh, as he kills, he grows strong. Like, just give me something, even if it's stupid. Just tell me why. Because if you give me this little teaser of, oh, he's immortal, okay, well,
Why?
that was the whole movie. Like, it's just so pointless. Because if you learn he's immortal at the end, like, everything up until that point, you're just like, all right, well, he's gonna there's no consequence.
It's just the root of all evil, and
Yeah.
now he's out and loose and killing everyone, and no one can stop him.
It felt like they were shrouding him in so much mystery that it wasn't interesting. It was just boring.
I
Because
feel
like
that.
if there's so much mystery, I just don't care. Instead of shrouding it in mystery and being like, oh, all right, what? Like, why? Instead, it was just like, oh, look, here's a person. What about him? Oh, nothing. Just it's a person. Just shut up. Don't worry about it.
Well,
And
I
Anyway.
sorry, go ahead, Chase.
I think this kind of brings us up to the next segment of Chase's theories.
Chase's theories.
I have this theory. Yes, he's immortal, whatnot, except Jamie or Laurie.
Laurie.
Laurie has to be the one to kill him. I don't think. I mean, given they probably will never get there because money.
But I mean, she kind of has like her whole setup with the house. That was her ace in the hole. Like, she burned the house. She had the traps. She stabbed him in the first movie. She shot him a bunch of times. Like,
And he still
What?
survived that.
as if it's like, oh, she has to do a ritual, maybe. But like, the dude is straight up immortal. Like, he takes full rounds. You know.
The cop at the end said, he even says, he's like, it's no longer about you. It's just
Right.
he's just exists now. Like,
And that may have just been their way of writing like Jamie Lee Curtis off the show.
But
just
they
to kinda
also
calm
showed-
the
Yeah, I
fans
mean-
down.
No, I think they also showed another thing where, like, at the end, she was also like, you know how Mike's looking in the mirror, or looking in the window, but probably looking at his reflection.
yeah,
She was doing the same thing in the hospital.
yeah.
So
Yeah, there could be something there. I'll give it to you. Yeah, that's interesting.
maybe she's immortal
Do you think
with
they're,
how much she's been stabbed.
do you think they're setting up for another one? Is that
Of course.
Yearly,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
I mean, so you can just make Halloween.
This one's going to
movies
jump
forever.
a few years in the future.
Just have the next group of teenagers try to kill him. Or,
Maybe they'll kill that brace faces kid. that was one of my gripes.
That's funny. I mean,
The
a
pranksters.
very accurate portrayal of jackass teenagers, like where they're sitting there like, "Oh yeah, we're playing hide and seek with the spooky man. There he is, hi!" Like, oh boy, it gets under your skin, and I guess that's what they really need to do. They need to make teenagers that we just hate and then kill them. Like,
What was up with the sheriff and the
Cowboy
the
sheriff?
cowboy hat?
I honestly have no idea.
That was real. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one because I was like, "Where'd this guy come from? And who
Yeah.
are you? And what are you doing?"
And I mean, he showed up. They kept going back to him like he was going to do something, and then he never did anything.
Yeah,
So
He did sit and look at his hat that was crushed.
yeah. I don't know what that was about.
just like
I think that it's because the guy died on his watch. Because, you know, he's the law.
just like the symbolism of the law losing control, and like he's lost his status as main cowboy hat.
yeah.
Also,
no, go ahead. I had nothing.
what's up with who's the chick that was with Jamie? Was that her daughter?
I just know her. Wait, Lindsay or the older girl?
Sorry, Lori's. Is it Lori's daughter? The girl that was in the hospital then left.
The Karen
Oh, Judy Greer. I don't know her name.
wearing
That's her actress
wearing
name.
the Christmas
Yeah,
sweater.
okay, let's
no, no,
let's
no,
talk about
we
that
gotta
for a
dive
minute.
into
Okay.
that.
Why was she wearing? I pointed this out 5 times. Why was she wearing a Christmas sweater? Was it her costume for Halloween?
Okay, have you guys seen the 2018 movie?
No.
No.
Okay, neither have I. So
Oh, okay.
so-
Maybe it's in that.
Maybe-
I did, but it was a long time ago, and I think I only saw I think I torrented it, so it was like bits and snips.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah,
but,
there
like,
you go.
Anyway, don't ever do that, guys.
So maybe it's Mike Myers bringing his wrath upon the early Christmas season, invading on Halloween.
Would have made for a better story.
They've already skipped over Thanksgiving, and now it's just encroaching on Halloween.
Maybe that's the moral of the story.
That we need to celebrate Halloween more,
Yes, and don't start
Or
putting
Mike-
up Christmas decorations.
or Mike Myers is going to get you.
November 1st, you're fine. October 31st, you're not fine.
See, Thanksgiving's already dead, so don't worry
We don't
about it.
care about Thanksgiving. Like, you go, you eat. But no, spooky season, there's no room for Halloween. Unless it's a Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, I guess that's a pass.
Oh, maybe that was the foot in the door, killing the holiday.
Maybe we're getting off too much.
Oh, I forgot. I guess a kind of a like. One thing I did like was the mask. In some of the other movies, it's kind of goofy looking.
Oh, yeah.
But this one, it was spot on. Like the mask took damage, so to speak, and it was creepy and eerie.
Was it like a plastic mask? Or is that
Yeah.
like a
So
mask of someone else's?
In the original, the first Halloween, when Michael Myers escapes, he just goes to a Halloween store and gets a mask.
Oh, okay.
And in the first one, they see like a teenager with the same mask on, and they kill him.
Oh,
And they're like, "Oh, whoops, that's not him." So, yeah, I'm sure the mask stopped being sold after in Haddonfield.
I
But-
actually heard a really funny rumor about the mask, that it's actually just like a William Shatner mask.
This one?
Well, in the first one, that it's a William Shatner mask that got like the paint erased from it, so
Oh,
it's just
really?
white,
Hmm.
and that's what they put on him. I don't know if that's true. That's
don't
just
know.
a funny rumor I heard.
That is interesting. There was supposed to be a cameo from the guy that plays the original Michael Myers in the first Halloween, Tony Morris.
I have no idea.
Tony Moran. He was supposed to have a cameo appearance in this movie. They cut it out because he badmouthed the movie. That is the rumor. I can't confirm any of this, but that's the online Hollywood gossip. It would have been cool to see a cameo from him, honestly. But whatever.
To have him be one of the townspeople, just like, hey, evil dies tonight.
No, to like be dressed up as Michael for a split second and have the original mask on. And
okay.
Because when
as
they
like a Halloween person,
just
chilling in the background.
or just have him like I don't know if like as they were doing the flashbacks, if it was actually him. Because when you see the flashbacks, it is the older mask.
Yeah, they show.
Cool.
I mean, they show a lot of the original footage.
Yeah. Yeah, super weird movie. Let's go into like do we even do predictions?
I mean,
it's
as
so
far
weird.
as predictions go, like, do you think they're just gonna keep making Halloween movies?
Let's do like, should there be another one, and if there is, what's it gonna be about?
Okay, you already know that I don't like sequels, so no, I don't think there should be another one.
Gotcha.
In the case that there is another one, I'm thinking that they're just gonna go back to their roots, as it were.
Interesting.
That it's just gonna be Michael Myers hunting down teenagers.
So the movie we watched.
Like
gotcha.
Classic slasher, just
okay.
some kids hanging out like, ooh, we heard this house was haunted. Ooh, I dare you to go inside. Someone goes inside. Mike Myers is in there. He kills 6 teenagers. End of the movie. Like,
interesting.
If you could draw that out for 2 hours, which I'm sure they can.
Chase, what about you?
I think Jamie Lee Curtis will be in this one.
In the next one?
Yeah.
At the ripe old age of 97.
Also, what's her face? The girl who's like, oh, it's not my blood. And at the end, it really was her blood.
Lindsay?
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
She'll probably be in it. Try to get revenge. I don't know. More Michael doing Michael stuff. Unless they do like something super weird, like kind of like a weird Michael offshoot they bring out during Christmas time.
The foreshadowing of the Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
So I think... Okay, does there need to be another one? No, absolutely not.
Will there?
Will there? Yes. I think there'll be another one. I think Jamie Lee Curtis will not be in this, and Lindsay will kind of take her place.
Okay.
And I kind of think it's going to be the opposite of what you said, Sean. I think they're going to go... They won't stick to the roots, and they're going to have to do something so weird and crazy, like Call of Duty syndrome. It's just going to be so out of left field.
Christmas comes. They open up presents under the tree. There's a head.
It's going to be something that like just doesn't make sense. I think it'll be like, oh, Michael Myers is he's
the shape of water.
He's bored of Haddonfield and he's going to different cities and
going to Washington D.C.
Yeah, or like
Halloween at the Pentagon.
He's going to have this
starts Friday.
This weird motive, or like, I mean, he doesn't really have a motive in the movie we watched.
They might do one where it's like Michael Myers. There's like a now fanatic club about him that are Michael Myers impersonators, but they're dying.
See,
so people are like, "Oh, we got him," but no, we didn't.
I mean, that would be cool, but like at the same time, it's like Michael Myers doesn't talk to people. He doesn't like
right.
He's not a cult like leader, but that could be a cool issue.
Because like if you think about it, because like now, this movie is probably the one where he's killed the most by far. All those firefighters.
I don't know about that.
I'm talking about like just per movie. Like he killed all the firefighters, freaking all the townspeople.
A lot of his movies. I mean, that's the whole appeal to his movies. Like he just kills people. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it is just he'll just keep running around, and Lindsay. Maybe the next movie will be better in that we get like a sense of like, oh, he's immortal because of this, which is a curse, or it's this, and this is how we maybe go about
He
defeating
played
it?
with a
I
Ouija
don't-
board once.
I don't know.
He's the essence of evil.
Um,
But evil did not die that night.
That's right.
I mean, they have to make more, right? Like, this was easy money for them, right?
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. It's just, he's become one of the classic horror movie villains, like right up there with Jason Voorhees,
Jason,
Freddy Krueger,
Freddy, yeah.
Mike Myers. Like, it's just, you can't kill him. He just exists, and he's just gonna keep slashing people till the end of time.
I mean, do you think we'll ever get like another like Michael? We'll get like a Michael versus.
Michael versus Jason. Probably.
Mike versus Jason versus Freddy versus Wolfman.
Versus Alien
Reloaded.
Predator.
Versus Alien versus Predator. 2 Reloaded.
I honestly
Coming on Disney Plus.
Some people need to start coming up with new ideas, or that's coming.
Yeah. So again,
Isn't that a spooky thought on Halloween?
is it movie theater worthy? I guess we're wrapping up. Is it movie theater worthy, guys?
Probably. I mean, we did talk a lot during it, but we didn't see it in the movies. Because, of course, streaming nowadays.
Yeah,
I actually kind of like it.
I mean,
streamed
that's what the industry's turning into is streaming.
It's just so convenient.
It is very convenient.
I'm gonna say no. You don't need to see this in theaters.
Nah.
Wait till it hits Redbox. You're not really missing much. There's not a whole lot of substance to the movie.
Watch the original Halloween.
Yes,
though.
do that.
Watch the original, 1978.
1978. Watch the first one. Watch the second one. Don't watch the third one. Doesn't have Michael Myers in it. But I mean, I know that just before we end, the Halloween series has actually a pretty big cult following. There's a lot of people who are like, yeah, we accept the first, we accept the second, we discredit the fourth. Like, they're pretty hardcore.
Oh.
So I'm interested to see like how they liked this movie. I'm sure they didn't, but it's just interesting because like Resurrection, that's the one that everyone hates. Halloween Resurrection, because it has this weird mystical vibe to it, I think. And Jason and Laurie die, but then they bring them back or something. I can't remember. I don't know. But anyway, it's a movie. Rent it, see it. I don't know.
Do what you don't. Do what you want. We don't have to tell you to live your lives.
Anyway, join us next week, guys. Thanks.
Happy Halloween!
Oh.